The 7 best white rappers. White rappers have long been a contentious subject in rap. There are endless debates about where they do or do not fit into the landscape of hip-hop. As a whole, white rappers have earned a bit of a reputation as typically being corny, a label reserved for acts like Macklemore or gimmicky like Riff Raff. Simultaneously, white privilege has allowed some rappers like Eminem to break into the mainstream while saying and doing things that would have easily vilified rappers of other races. This can occasionally make the discussion of white rappers a little sensitive. Despite this, there are a handful of white rappers who seem to have evaded the stereotypes and earned themselves a respected place in hip-hop history. Whether it's due to intense dedication to their craft, or because of a viral song becoming a culture phenomenon, the rappers on this list are much more than just a white rapper. And remember that all best of lists are subjective. So if you think someone else should have made the list, make sure to drop a comment below and tell us why. Before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Now, here are 7 of the best white rappers. Number 7, Action Bronson. Action Bronson never meant to be a rapper. A chef by trade, Bronson started rapping simply to pass the time after a severely broken leg kept him out of his day job for a few months. During that time, he realized he loved the craft and began to focus heavily on his music career. After a prolific year in 2011, including the release of his first Blue Chips tape, Bronson was signed to Goliath Artists by Paul Rosenberg. By 2013, Bronson was an XXL freshman and made his major label debut in 2014. Since then, Bronson has established himself as a fan favorite in the underground scene. Despite never having true mainstream success, Bronson is respected by his witty lyrics, obscure pop culture references, and meticulous obsession with rapping about food. The rapper has been praised for his lyrical ability, and for the similarities between him and Ghostface Killah of the Wu-Tang Clan. More recently, Bronson has returned to his fine dining roots. He hosted a show on Vice Network called F That's Delicious, and an untitled late-night food talk show. Bronson even surprised fans with a quick cameo in Martin Scorsese's 2019 film, The Irishman. And despite the fact that Bronson is known for his huge beard and bigger stature, the star has proven that he is as dedicated to his health as he is to his music. In 2022, Bronson revealed that he had lost over 160 pounds. I mean, that's basically a whole nother rapper. Number 6, Paul Wall. Older hip-hop heads will remember Paul Wall as one of the defining voices of Southern rap. He was one of the first artists to put on for Houston, Texas, and was the only rapper to ever land a #1 album on the Billboard Hot 100. The success cemented him as a legend in Texas, and he quickly found his way to the national stage. He may be best known for his 2005 track, Still Tipping, and his collaboration with Kanye West on the classic song Drive Slow. His rap persona was loud and boisterous, and his penchant for custom jewelry introduced many Americans to the concept of grills, an accessory that is now as commonplace in college students as it is in rappers. Wall started his musical career as the steadfast partner of Chamillionaire. The two continued to work together up until 2003. In an interview with Complex, Wall states that he never thought of himself as the white guy rapping, and just viewed rap as the thing he was most passionate about in life. Despite the fact that he initially aspired to be a DJ, known for his nickname, the People's Champ, Wall has an interesting philosophy on his status as a white rapper. In the same interview, he states he never set out to be the role model for white people, but rather a role model in general. "I'm not here to tell anyone who can and can't look up to me," he told Complex. Number 5, Lil Peep. Lil Peep may seem like an unusual addition to this list because of his genre-bending sound that never stayed fully into hip-hop. However, his influence and stature within the SoundCloud rapper era was so significant and impacted modern hip-hop in a way that would make it remiss to leave him out. After abandoning his life in Long Island to pursue his music career in Los Angeles, Peep struggled with homelessness. After attempting to make music while attending community college, Peep ultimately dropped out of school, and in 2016 released his tape Crybaby. The project landed him a distribution deal and jump-started his career. In 2016, his tape Hellboy launched him into fame and established him as one of the leaders of the emo rap revival on SoundCloud. His projects would go on to influence a bevy of today's artists, including Lil Uzi Vert and Juice WRLD. Unfortunately, Lil Peep also struggled with substance abuse, and they cost him his life in 2017. While on his tour bus preparing for a show, Lil Peep consumed drugs laced with fentanyl, leading to an accident accidental overdose. He was only 21 years old at the time of his death. After his death, Peep's music increased even more in popularity, cementing him as one of the faces of his genre's generation. Number 4. A$AP Rock. Since he started rapping in the early 2000s, A$AP Rock has become one of the underground's most beloved artists. His massive vocabulary is legendary. A 2019 study listed him as the rapper with the most diverse vernacular, counting in at 7,800 words. For comparison, even MF Doom clocked in at 6,100 words. Though some critics assert that Rock's lyrics are so verbose that they can actually begin to lose meaning, many rap fans credit him as having some of the most complex lyrics and rap schemes in hip-hop. He's also a prolific writer. He released 9 studio albums, 6 EPs, and literally hundreds of features. In 2012, he told an interviewer that he never stops making music, even when his label Def Jux went on an indefinite hiatus in 2008. The result is the ability to track his evolution as an artist in real time. His debut album was released in 1997, and he's never gone more than 4 years without releasing a full-length album and EP. Despite his work ethic and status as an underground darling, Rock manages to keep a low profile and generally does not interact with other artists regularly. And in case you've wondered, A$AP was around before A$AP Rocky. When asked about their similar names in an interview, Rock assured the world he wasn't worried. "He's just a dude that's going for it," he said, and I think he's great. Number 3. Jack Harlow. When Jack Harlow was first making waves in his hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, it was easy to dismiss him. Still a teenager, Harlow was lanky and awkward looking, and his fashion sensibilities were not yet refined. However, it was hard to deny that Harlow had a natural ear for catchy hooks, and a pleasing voice suitable for mainstream tracks. This talent earned him a record deal in 2018 with Generation Now, the same label that Lil Uzi Vert was signed to. In 2020, Harlow released the track What's Poppin', which would change his life practically overnight. An absolute massive viral hit, the track quickly became a staple of TikTok sounds. In conjunction with the remix featuring Lil Wayne, Tory Lanez, and DaBaby, the track has been streamed over 750 million times. The success of the track catapulted Harlow, who by now had grown out of his lanky teenage appearance, into the mainstream eye. Harlow would go on to release That's What They All Say, his debut LP, which confirmed that he was no one-hit wonder. The album debuted at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. Since then, Harlow has enjoyed major success, especially with the Lil Nas X collaboration Industry Baby. This has positioned Jack Harlow as one of the most exciting up-and-comers in rap. As with most artists, his sophomore album will be critical in determining the trajectory of his career. The up-and-coming album is scheduled to be released on May 6 of 2022. Number 2. Mac Miller. In the early 2010s, a new type of rap was emerging: frat rap, a subgenre led mostly by white rappers. It was the celebration of constant partying, a carefree attitude, and the glorification of college lifestyle. Early frat rappers included Asher Roth, Mike Stud, and for a short period, Mac Miller. At just 17, Miller was signed to Rostam Records in 2010 and released his debut album Blue Slide Park. The upbeat party-focused record, as well as his previous mixtape Kids, caused critics to dismiss Miller as a frat rapper. Mac, on the other hand, had other plans. The criticism of Blue Slide Park submerged him into a years-long obsession with honing his craft. He earned a reputation for the sheer amount of times he spent in the studio, and his music began to greatly evolve. Over the years, Miller experimented with everything from psychedelic rap to trap and even ballads that defied genre labels. He was a fierce collaborator, working with and supporting a slew of artists. He championed upcoming artists, providing rappers like Earthgang and Chance the Rapper with some of their first opening slots. Miller grew into an accomplished lyricist, a skilled songwriter, and a mature, thoughtful person. His dedication to improving and evolving his music earned him the respect of everyone in the industry, from rappers to the legendary composer John Bryan. Unfortunately, Miller's love for music was precariously balanced with a public struggle with substances and depression. In September of 2018, Miller passed away from an accidental overdose, leaving a huge back catalog of unfinished work. In 2020, Miller's estate released his first posthumous album, the critically acclaimed Circles. Miller would have turned 30 this year. Number 1. Eminem. In 2022, Eminem has a divisive reputation. While some hip-hop heads consider him to be one of the most talented lyricists and songwriters ever to work in hip-hop, others see him as a fallen idol, a superstar whose inability to evolve with the landscape of rap has rendered him corny and cringy. Regardless of your opinion on Eminem, it's impossible to deny the absolutely massive impact the rapper had on hip-hop. hop. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Eminem's rise to fame was meteoric. His sudden success blurred the lines between rap and pop music, not because of stylistic similarities, but because of his vocal disdain and critique of pop culture. His superstardom helped expose millions of teenagers to rap and practically laid the foundation for hip-hop to become the most popular genre in the world. Additionally, his experimentation with flow, cadence, and alter egos allowed him to play with the fundamental structure of his song, a technique that went on to influence hundreds of artists, including Kendrick Lamar. His innovative rhyme schemes and lyrics were often likened to Rakim by critics. Additionally, Eminem's massive success opened the door to other white rappers to enter the industry. While the Beastie Boys were the first white act to find success in hip-hop, Eminem's fame and the respect he earned made it easier for future white artists to find an authentic space for themselves in the genre.